to the golf course where Henry Neumann, a senior from Broadview Heights, is ready to join us. Henry, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, I'm Brendan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for spending some time with us.
Oh yeah, appreciate you having me.
I'm glad to be talking golf. We had a chance to visit with one of your classmates on the ladies' side, Leah, just a little bit ago. But
Oh yeah.
Obviously a similar deal in the sense we're talking golf, but a different team. Why don't we start maybe in just kind of your journey to BW? Had a chance to grow up in Northeast Ohio, and you went to Padua and found that BW is the right fit for you.
Yeah, so I committed here for baseball my senior year of high school, and then I got hurt and just fell out of love with the game, and then switched to golf because one of my buddies that plays on the team, Logan Brash, is one of the other seniors. He was hitting me up and telling me, like, hey, like, we might need a guy, like, you can come out. So I came out and then stuck from there.
What's the energy and the cohesiveness like on the team here?
We're pretty friendly. A lot of the other teams are like more stuck up, more like country club-esque kind of teams, and we're kind of just like like a good group of buddies that just go out there and play golf, have fun.
Love that. How do you go about setting goals for yourself? You know, what you try to accomplish, whether it's in a tournament or on a day-to-day practice basis, just the way that you try to go about figuring out, okay, what am I going to get better at today?
For me, it just depends on like where I'm at with my swing and scores and everything. Like if I'm playing well, I just try to keep the same routine. If I'm playing bad, maybe fix something up, try a new drill. Mainly like short game, stuff like that. But goals-wise, just try to set it at like different scores. Like for tournaments, I try to be right around par, put you in a chance to win every tournament.
Sure.
And practice, try to hit every fairway, every green.
I love that. I'm curious how you guys try to stay sharp with short game. Feel like, especially in the wintertime, right? A day like today, I mean, it's 70 degrees last week, and it's currently 25 outside.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of fun to play golf at 25 degrees, although I think most of us have done it. It's easy to go to the driving range and bang balls all day, but I think most people will tell you the first thing to go is your short game.
Yep.
And trying to find a way to like keep that, fresh and steady, especially during the season, has to be a challenge, I would think.
Oh yeah. Mainly just losing the feel, your touch and stuff like that. Like 100 yards and in, anything like that's pretty tough once you come out of the winter. But if you go to the range enough, just dial it in. We use the simulators over at Mallard Creek. Me and Logan do. We go there every Tuesday, Thursday. So just dial in the numbers and then get ready for the season.
Awesome. What's it like to have Jimmy Clark on coaching staff?
It's a pretty good time. He's one of the guys, so it's kind of like friendly and stuff like that. But he's well respected in the like Division III golf community because he's one of the best people to ever come through it. So helps having him on like behind us when we're hitting shots or stuff like that. And then he just talks us through like what he's thinking when he's playing through a round. Makes it a lot easier.
Well, I think that's a really good point. He's one of the guys. He's not that far removed from playing, right?
Oh yeah.
And yet, there's a difference now. There's got to be a delineation. He's not a player. He's a coach.
Yeah.
There's a different level of respect that goes with someone who's coaching, but also a different level of attention. I'm not going to ask you to speak for him, but how do you think he's going about, maybe tweaking his approach if he has to, understanding that he's not going to, ignore the fact that you guys were all friends competing together?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the way he talks to like the underclassmen, like the younger guys. For us, like older guys like me and Logan and Will, he's sitting over there, but we're all pretty close with Jimmy, so like it's hard to change that relationship. But with the younger guys, he tries to be like just like a upperclassman figure to them and like coach them through it. Because one of our younger guys, Christian Miller, like he was telling him the other day, like he sees a lot of Jimmy and like Christian, so I mean it kind of fits for him to just tell him like what he was thinking at that age and then going throughout his career.
Makes a ton of sense. How about Coach Snyder and the impact that he's had on you?
Coach Wayne's great. He's probably one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
I think most people would say that.
Yeah, you can't really go wrong around him. We'll be playing, hit a ball in the woods. He's like, can't get worse than that, so just play better from there. It's pretty easy to play well around him. He's a good time, and he knows what he's talking about. He tells us some stuff at practice, but yeah, he's really good on like the mental side of things.
Good. When you think about the fall season, let's go backwards here for a second. What do you feel like you really accomplished during the fall that kind of carrying into the spring season with you?
For me, well, last spring was my first season on the golf team, and it was just a tough adjustment. I hadn't played tournament golf in 3 years since high school, so I mean that's a pretty big adjustment. Like you can go out and shoot par with your buddies pretty easily, but going into a tournament's tough. But fall, I kind of put it together, put some good rounds up, and got a couple top tens under my wing, so that was kind of nice. So just trying to like compete on that, show that I can compete with the guys that are out there, and then just keep playing well.
How would you try to describe for somebody who's never competed in tournament golf, but maybe plays a lot recreationally and watches rounds of golf on TV and thinks, oh, geez, I could go out and do that. How do you try to describe that feeling when you're standing over the first tee of your tournament?
First tee's very nervous, especially OACs when they got big crowd and stuff like that. Most of the smaller tournaments, not too bad. Just feels like you're out with the buddies. But, yeah, first tee is very nervous, especially when we have, like, an iron off the tee, especially with no range. That's never fun because you show up, like,
touch your
40
toes twice
degrees.
and try to figure it out.
But, I mean, depending on the hole, like, if there's no trouble, just swing as hard as you can, hope you hit the club face. But if there's trouble out there, then, yeah, it gets pretty nervous.
So, you talk about Coach Wayne being really good on the mental side of things. I mean, what kinds of things do you do to try to mentally prepare you for strenuous situations where, you've got that really nervy 50-yard wedge shot that's got to carry a bunker to a really narrow green and you can't go long? Or, man, maybe you're pulling it all day and it's white stake left and you got to figure out a way to not snap one. How do you try to put yourself in mental situations in practice to be able to deal with that stuff in competition?
For me, I like to play like 3 holes at a time because we're out there for like 5-6 hours, so you can kind of get in your head for a while. Then you lose track of your round and you'll be just set up to not play well. But in terms of like how I do it, I usually just do 3 holes. Like the first 3 holes, I'm trying to be even par because try to get off to a good start, and then next 3 holes maybe try to go 1 or 2 under. And then, like, if you just block it off like that, play it like that, you just one shot at a time, it'll work out.
I love that. Where's your favorite place to play in Northeast Ohio?
Well, I just got a job at Medina Country Club, so that's biased, but
that's the company line.
I'd say probably my favorite track's Greyhawk. It's down in Canton, it's a little south, but it's probably my favorite place.
It's a good spot for sure. And I was talking with Lee about this a little bit ago. I feel like Northeast Ohio, it doesn't get a bad rap.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it truly gets the appreciation that it should nationally for the amount of good golf and affordable golf. It's a really nice blend point that I don't think a lot of places have.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really do much better. Golf Now, stuff like that, different like fees and stuff like that. But I worked at a golf course for a while, and then one of my best buddies works there. So wherever we can play for free or anything under $20 is a steal.
I don't really remember which major golf publication put this out, but I believe it was last summer, one of the major golf publications, golf.com, Golf Magazine, Golf Digest, something like that, had ranked basically the top 25 Muni courses in the country. And a couple of them you'd expect to be on there, right? Bethpage Black hosted lots of major championships, right? You kind of expect that to be on the list. I believe they ranked the top 30 Muni courses. And there were not very many places in the country, if you broke it down by state, that had more than one. But Ohio, and not just Ohio, Northeast Ohio had 2 in both Sleepy Hollow, which is obviously a terrific course over in Brecksville. And then out on the east side, and the Metro Parks continue to get love.
Oh, yeah.
I think even on the Muni course side of things, I would think you guys can find ways to stay sharp for the fall during the summer because it's easy to find tee times on legitimate quality places to play.
Yeah, I mean, golf's the same way. Like, no matter what course you play, you still have to hit the same shots. A 300-yard drive down the middle is the same if you play at, let's say, Augusta or Briarwood down the road. Like, it's the same shot, so it doesn't really make a difference. It's just adjusting to conditions, stuff like that. I sometimes think it makes you better. Like, if you play on courses that are just, like, perfect conditions all the time, you might get not used to things or bad lies and stuff like that. So I think it helps out.
I know you guys unfortunately were canceled this past weekend over at Highland Park Golf Course out in Highland Hills. We're looking at the schedule here in the month of April coming up. Let's kind of run through the different courses if you've played them all. I'm not sure if you've been to all of them, but Glenmore Country Club coming up on Monday and Tuesday this upcoming week down in Canton, hosted by Walsh University, which is a D2 program, but no reason you can't compete against them. What do you like about Glenmore?
I've personally never played there. I've heard it's nice. I've heard it's very challenging.
Okay.
We do 36 holes the first day, 18 the second day, so it should be a long walk the first day. But yeah, it'll be good competition. Good to see like Division II guys out there. Last week we had Malone with us, so it's just good to compete against like tougher teams, stuff like that.
You've got Worcester Country Club coming up the following week. What do you like about Worcester?
Very high quality. I played there in high school a couple times, and it's just a really fun track. It's not too challenging. I think Glenmore's probably a little tougher from what I've heard. But, yeah, it'll definitely test the game.
On Monday, April 18th, just a one quick day tournament over at Shaker Heights Country Club hosted by John Carroll. Not a particularly long course, and unfortunately, even though it's a private club, no driving range there. Another place you go, you maybe roll some putts and touch your toes twice and hope you're loose and let it rip.
Yeah, that one's tough. That's a place it's short. You'd think you play well just based off the scorecard. Then you get out there and the rough's 6 inches long. You can't find your ball if you just miss a fairway. So it could be really tough out there, but fairways and greens out there will get it done.
How about when you get down toward River Green, and I know you're basically playing there back-to-back weekends. You get a chance to go essentially have a warm-up weekend and then the OAC tournament weekend.
Yeah, I like the 27 holes, how they have it set up. You get to see all of them before we play. Makes it just so you can see how the course is playing. I know in the fall they had the greens aerated, so it was good to see that, because if we didn't know coming in, might have just like set us up for failure when we got there. But yeah, it's a good time down there.
That's good. Well, just the last thing is about the fact that you are a local guy, and I would hope that your family and friends are able to support you because you're typically playing courses that are not a terribly far drive from home for you.
Oh yeah, no, it's nice. My mom and dad come out a lot. Pine Hills, like all the courses that we play, River Greens. It's kind of far, but it's a weekend tournament, so they'll be able to come down to that. And then Shaker's right down the road, so it's pretty easy to get that out to.
How good is Pine Hills, man? What a great spot.
Yeah, it's nice to have that as a home course. Pretty blessed to be able to go there every day.
That is one impressive facility.
Oh yeah.
And for being open to the public, the way they take care of their greens, pretty darn good.
Yeah, they used to be private, and then they ended up switching. But it's good for us.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Henry, we're proud of you and wish you all the best here as you compete this spring. I hope it's a ton of fun, and look forward to seeing you play well here in the next coming weeks.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thanks for joining us.
Henry thanks
Neumann,
for having me.
You bet. Henry Neumann from our men's golf team wraps up our schedule of guests here this evening. So we certainly appreciate the time that Henry and Coach Russellberg and Leah Metzger spent with us here this evening.